So, yes, welcome to Sri Harinama Vyakaranam class. Um, so, I hope you know a bit about, not a bit, so you must be knowing much about the subject, the Harinama Vyakaranam. And you were also, maybe, you had also joined earlier, right? Maybe 2 years back or maybe last year. Um,
Yes, Prabhu.
yeah,
I had joined about, I think 2 years ago or last year. I cannot exactly remember now, but I could not finish the course. I started it, and this time I'm trying again.
yeah, sure. So, so Harinama Vyakaranam is Jiva Goswami's work, uh, inspired by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mm, teachings, because first of all Mahaprabhu also had his own tone, as they say in Bengali, which means like a small group of students which the teachers, the Brahmins, used to teach to. So Mahaprabhu would also teach Sanskrit, grammar, especially grammar to his students, and then he would implement um, Krishna's names, Krishna's pastimes, ityadi, and so on, uh, in grammar. So he would basically, um, you know, yes, inculcate Krishna and Krishna's naam, roop, and so on into the grammar. So inspired from that act of Mahaprabhu, that pastime of Mahaprabhu, the desire of Mahaprabhu, so Jiva Goswami compiled a grammar in itself. Uh, he could have compiled another, shastra, scripture, based on a particular philosophy, like he did the Sandarbhas, um, and so on. But he exclusively made this Harinama Vyakanam for the sake of the devotees, because the scriptures are in Sanskrit mostly, um, and for the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, we also have scriptures in Bengali. So mostly in Sanskrit, like Bhagavatam, Gita, Mahabharata, and so on. Even Valmiki Ramayana is in Sanskrit. So of course we do have the translations and all, but earlier we didn't have translations. So earlier it was a must that we either study Sanskrit and we study the scriptures, or we just hear the tatparya or the meaning from our instructors or the gurus. Now we have the translations, but still those who are Brahmanically inclined, those who are like kind of more wanting to more, explore more the scriptures, because my Guru Maharaj says that it's a different rasa, a taste altogether, when you study the scriptures in its original language. Now, if you read Chaitanya Charitamrita and if you know Bengali and then read Chaitanya Charitamrita, then it's complete different rasa or feeling or taste. Of course, with translations also we get that rasa, but I hope we are getting the point. Similarly, um, because translations are bounded by words, like English is can't really explain certain Sanskrit words. Um, so so sometimes some concept or some compromise is done while translating. Some words are used which are almost equivalent, but not completely. But if we know the language, the original, then it makes complete sense. So Harinama Vyakaranam is Jiva Goswami's work. So 26th of September, Jiva Goswami's appearance day is also coming up. We pray to the lotus feet of Shri Jiva Goswami that may he blesses us, mm, that we can study his Harinama Vyakaranam nicely, properly, with the right aim, purpose, and without any obstacle, we can complete it. So, hmm. So I personally, about myself, just a brief. I I live in Vrindavan, first of all, in India, Vrindavan, and I studied myself uh, Harinama Vyakaranam for 4 years. It was an extensive course, so it took me some time. And then I started teaching, so I'm trying to teach also same time. Yes. And yeah, let's explore. So I've been teaching since 3 years now. So this particular PDF, the book you're seeing here, so it is published by one of the publisher in Vrindavan. So that's called Ras Bihari Lal and Sons. So this book is basically in 2 volumes. This is the first one. So I'll share the PDFs with you. If you want the hard book, then you can maybe search online. Um, yeah, something, and you can order if it's available. So this Harinamamrit Vyakaranam is it consists of 7 chapters. There are 7 chapters in Harinamamrit Vyakaranam. So the very first chapter is the Sangya and Sandhi Prakaranam. Let me write it in. No, no. Oh, so
Just one question, please. Will you be sharing these notes, or should I write them down here?
okay, so I have created this Google Doc here. I'll share this
Right.
with the devotees, and you must be using Google Docs, so you know, right?
Right. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So every time I write, I'll write on the same doc here, and it will automatically get updated.
Yeah, and you'll be sharing,
Yeah, I'll share
that.
the link after we just complete towards the end.
Okay. Thank you.
But would be nice if you can simultaneously make notes, because writing oneself, writing by ourselves also works better for us.
Right.
Yeah. So it is said that just by hearing it's fine, it helps us 40, 50, 60%. But when we write it ourselves, make notes, and so the subject goes more deeper into us. Yeah. So both can work nicely. Okay. So there are 7 chapters. In Harinama Vyakaranam. The first one is Sangya and Sandhi. So Sangya refers to, the terminology, the definition, and Sandhi refers to the phonetic combination. Um, so when two words are nearby, so when they join, like Krishna and Arjuna, if we join them, So it becomes Krishna Arjuna. It becomes Krishna Arjuna. For example, if we have Krishna and Arjuna and we join them together, so it becomes Krishna Arjuna, right? So this process here of joining it, and then there is a change of letter also. So this is called Sandhi. So the combinations of letters, phonetic combinations, Sangha and Sandhi. Then the second chapter would be the Nama Prakaranam. Nama Prakaranam. Prakaranam stands for chapter in Sanskrit. Adhyay or Prakaranam is the same thing. We have heard Adhyaya, but Prakaranam also means the same. That is the chapter. So it is basically the nouns. The nouns. Nouns. Then it includes the pronouns as well. So like that. Then the third chapter deals with the Akhyata Prakaranam. So that's the verbs. So we get the verbs there. Right? All kinds of verbs in Sanskrit. Then the fourth would be the Karaka. So Karaka is Karaka. The meaning. Karaka means the meaning of the case. So basically, in the fourth chapter, it will teach us how and where to use the nouns and the verbs, the akyatas. Like in the nouns, we have the subject, the object, the instrument, the sambodhana addressing, and in the verbs, we have different verbs in different tenses and so on. So it's a very big topic. So Karaka, the fourth chapter explains us where and how to use these different nouns and these different verbs, which meanings and so on. The fifth chapter would be the Kridantas. Now Kridanta means the participles in English. So the participles. Then sixth chapter would be Samasa. So Samasa is the other compound words. So compound words are also there in English, and it's in Hindi, it's everywhere, compound, in all the languages, mostly. Then the seventh one is the Tadhita. So Tadhita is nouns made up, Tadhita deals with nouns which are made up from nouns. Or you can, in simple word, you can say modified, deals with the modified nouns, their formation. For example, like Pritha, let's take Pritha, which is Kunti Maharani's one of the names, and a certain Tadhita Pratyaya, and it gets modified and we get Partha, which means the son of Pritha, right? Which can be Arjuna, Yudhishthira, or Bhima. We can't say Nakula and Sahadev as Partha, right? Because they were sons of Madri, the second wife of Maharaj Pandu. But yeah, of course, all the five are called Pandavas. So the son of Pritha. Okay, so these were the 7 chapters. Sangya Sandhi, Nama Prakaranam, Akhyata, Karaka, Kridanta, Samasa, Tadhita. So, because now all these chapters, so there are around 1250 sutras for all the chapters. And it takes some time to study all the chapters. So now here we will be doing, first of all, we'll do the first 2 chapters, Sangya Sandhi, which are the terminologies and the phonetic combinations and these, and we'll deal with the nouns. We'll do the nouns. So these two chapters are having around 260 sutras. So that's the model one, as I said earlier. So we'll do these two chapters first, and then gradually we'll move ahead to the next modules and so on, after a break maybe or something. So yes, so this was an outline of the book, of the presentation by Jiva Goswami. Let me share the file. Okay, I've shared the file, Prabhu. Huh? I've shared the link. So
Yeah, got it, bro. Thank
okay. Now Jiva Goswami begins with the Mangala Charana, because as per the tradition, Mangala Charanam is a must in all the Shastras, scriptures, the beginning of anything. It's not just about the book or any such venture. It's about any venture, any initiative. It might be any auspicious work, an inauguration, anything we start. So the Shastras recommend us to perform the Mangala Charanam. Is it asking for an access? The file?
Sorry, Prabhu. What, you asked me?
Is this file asking for an? Yeah, I think it must be.
Let me check it now. Let me see.
Now it shouldn't ask. Okay. Yeah.
Let me just try to open here.
Can you try opening it?
Yeah, yeah. It's all good, Prabhu. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, working.
Okay, so yes, so Jiva Goswami also begins with Mangala Charanam as per the tradition, in order to provoke Krishna's mercy, the blessings of the Lord. Shri Shri Radha Krishnabhyam Namah. Offering obeisances to Radha and Krishna. So there are 4 shlokas in the Mangala Charanam. So we'll be trying to study these Mangala Charanam verses. Krishnam upasitum asya srajamiva nama valim tanvai tvaritam vitare desha tat sahityadi jamunam. Jiva Goswami says that I am composing this Harinama Vrita Vyakaranam, which is composed of the holy names of the Lord, Nama Avali. Just like a garland is made up of different flowers, different flowers collected together and strung together, and it becomes a garland. Similarly, Harinama Vyakaranam is compared with the garland, which is made up of the holy name, the flower-like holy names of the Lord. And the purpose is to worship Lord Krishna, Krishnam Upasitum. the first line of the shloka. So devotees, in the commentaries it is explained that even though this is grammar book, this is not Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam. It's not a grantha as like Bhagavatam and Gita. But devotees' aspiration and purpose always is to primarily worship Krishna in any act they do. And then secondary purpose could be anything else. Like here, the primary purpose is to worship Krishna, and the secondary purpose is to study grammar. So so the primary purpose comes here. In order to worship Krishna, I'm composing this Harinama Mityakranam, this grammar, which is composed of the holy names of the Lord, just like a garland. It's composed of the flowers. And then Jiva Goswami says that this grammar, this system, would very quickly bestow upon the living entities, upon those who read it, the bliss which comes from reading the scriptures, from being in association with Krishna, and from the things which belong to Krishna. Why? Because when we will study this grammar, what will a devotee do? A devotee will naturally try to understand the scriptures nicely after studying the grammar, right? Now, we are not here to do anything else beyond studying scriptures, Bhagavatam, Gita nicely, the commentaries and all. So, and as we read, study, assimilate, understand the scriptures nicely, the insights of the scriptures, then we naturally get blissful, more blissful, and more blissful by getting deeper and deeper into the subject. So that's why Jiva Goswami is saying that this Namavali, this set of holy names, this Harinama Mityakranam, will allow us uncover that bliss, will allow us to derive that bliss, that spiritual bliss from studying the Sahityas, the Grantha, the scriptures of the Lord, or from, or as if in association with the Lord, the bliss we get. So this was the first Mangala Charana verses. Now, there may be an argument by someone, by Apurva Paksha, that there are already so many. So someone can argue with Jiva Goswami that there are so many grammatical systems existing, So why there is a need for you, O Jiva Goswami, to compile this Harinamamrita Vyakaranam, one more set of system? Because there were many like Panini, Kalapa, Saraswata, Mugdha Bodha, Ityadi, and so many of them already existing prior to Harinamamrita Vyakaranam book or the Grantha. So why there is a need to render one more version or system of Sanskrit grammar? In response to that, Jiva Goswami says, Ahat jalpita jatitam drushva shabdanushasana stomam harinama vali valitam vyakaranam vaishnavartham achinmaha. Jiva Goswami, before he did Harinama Vyakaranam, he himself studied all other systems, all other grammatical systems, and he went through all of them. So he's saying now that after studying all other systems of grammars, Shabdanushasana Stomam Drishtva, what he observed was that all other systems, they were too dry and they were full of Ahat Jalpita Jatitam. They were full of useless statements because they didn't mention anything about the Lord or any example, nothing pertained to the Lord. And for the devotees, any place where there's nothing, no contact of the Lord, so that place, as per Bhagavatam, is like a place of garbage for the crows, to wander. So Jiva Goswami says that although the concepts are the same in all the grammars, right? 1 plus 1 is 2. That is verified by all the mathematical systems. Similarly, the concepts are the same of Sanskrit grammar, but there is no contact of the Lord in any of the book, in either of the books. Plus, The way of presentation is too technical and very messy, you can say, just like the jata, jatitam, the matted locked hairs. So if you have seen anyone with those, matted hair, the jata, you can't really resolve them. You can't find the end, you can't find the middle, the beginning. It's just all messed up. Similarly, the way of presentation, the arrangement is so unsystematic. It's very messed up. So Jiva Goswami observed these flaws, and having seen such flaws, he has compiled this grammar composed of the holy names of the Lord for the sake of the Vaishnavas, for the sake of the devotees. He's not stopping here. He's furthermore moving ahead and saying, Shloka 3, व्याकरणे मरुनिवृत्ति जीवनलुब्धाः सदाग संविघ्नाः हरिनामामृतमेतत् पिबन्तु शतभावगाहन्ताम्. That if he's saying that all the other grammatical systems are like deserts, the desert regions, Marunipriti, and all the people who are studying there, those systems, are like those people who are trying to find water in a desert, and that's impossible. So, just like a person who's finding water in the desert, similarly, people are trying to find some taste, some rasa, some mellow by studying those system grammatical systems. And what do they get? So, just like a person looking after water, he just gets pain. Shrama eva hi kevalam, right? Shrama, only parishrama, only effort, and is just afflicted with pain. Similarly, the efforts find no result for such learners also. So Jiva Goswami is inviting, he's saying, come here and etat harinamamritam pibantu, and please drink this nectar of the holy names of the Lord. Drink, please accept this harinamamrit vyakaranam and shatadha avagahantam, and dive into it profusely again and again. This is so full of nectar. This is so full of nectar of the holy names of the Lord. Jiva Goswami. Now, one last argument could be, someone may argue with Jiva Goswami that, oh, Jiva Goswami, you will be using the Lord's names, holy names of the Lord, throughout the book, but will not you be committing an offense? Because the purpose of the holy names should be, you know, to love, to cultivate that love of Godhead, love for Krishna, and not for some secondary purposes. But you will be using the names as a secondary purpose, right? To study grammar. So what do you have to say for that? Then Jiva Goswami brings a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, and he responds, Sanketyam parihasyam vastobham helanam evava vaikuntha nama grahanam ashesha gaharam vidu. He says that anyone who chants the holy name of the Lord is immediately freed from the reactions of unlimited sins. So if a person, he chants the holy name of the Lord, even indirectly, in either of these four ways, what are they? If he chants indirectly, like in order to indicate something, or jokingly, for musical entertainment, or even neglectfully. So even if one does chant in either of these indirect ways, he will get freed from his sins. Unlimited sins, the reactions of unlimited sins. And this is accepted by all the learned scholars of the scripture. Jiva Goswami says, that's fine that I'm not using it primarily, but even the secondary usage, the indirect usage, bestows the name taker, the utterer, with so much of benefit. So by these words, Jiva Goswami completes his Mangala Charanam. Yes. And then he will begin with the Sutras, the chapter 1. So chapter 1, which is Sangya and Sandhi. So he begins here with the very first sutra. I will just begin with the first sutra and then tomorrow we'll resume ahead. So the first sutra is Narayana Udbhutoyam Varna Krama. This series of Varna, basically the Sanskrit alphabet, all the vowels, the consonants, they appear from Narayana. They appeared from Lord Narayana. So he's beginning with the origin of the Sanskrit alphabet, and then he will move ahead with the next sutra. Hare Krishna. Any question here? Anything to say here?
No, Prabhuji, any questions? It's clear. So this this first one is the one that I should start memorize it, study.
Yes. Yeah. So Mangala Charana was the Mangala Charana. The actual sutras start from here. Number 1. So okay, so we'll resume tomorrow then with the next sutras, and I'll share the PDF again in the group.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.